Next, applications of timer instructions. There are several applications for the instruction of the timers. One by one discussed as follows. First one, bit by bit we have to discuss. Here are some of the basics applications of timer we can use in a PLC automation environment. Second one, use for the delay actions. Third ones, the timer instructions are used to run or stop operation as per the user's command. Fourth one, the RTO timer helps to record or hold on intermediate time values. Fifth one, this is all about PLC timer. This is a really big topic. I tried to make it simple. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment. Then next one is the PLC counter. A PLC counter is a function block that counts up or down until it reaches a limit. When the limit is reached, the output is set. The PLC counters are also used to assist logging to SCADA system by counting the amount of times these events has happened or setting alarms. When an event has happened a certain amount of times, then the timers, what is the basic difference between timers and counters in programmable logic control systems? First one, the timers are important part of PLC, without which it is very difficult to think of executing a process. Timers are blocks that counts the time as specified by the user and executes the algorithm based on the time. The counters are blocks that counts the pulses. In Siemens PLC, we have three types of counter functions like off counter, down counter and off down counters. So the PLC are having three different counters, that is off counter functions, down counter functions, up and down counter functions. Third one, the role of the counter in PLC is to control and to operate the device in the sequential order. This sequential order can be in ascending order or descending order. There are two attributes associated with the PLC counter instruction. Counter limit. Next, with this limit we can set the range of the counter. Next one, the current counter value. This depicts the current values of the counter. Next, the PLC counter works or the block diagrams. The basic internal counter circuit requires auxiliary power supply, an input output terminals, a counter circuit and a digital display. The entire PLC counter block requires the following apparatus or the following devices, that is auxiliary power supply APS, on input-output terminals a counter circuit and a digital display. We can see the PLC counter internal structure as given block diagram, which their specific connected parts. Third one, each of the internal parts of the counter circuit has various features and functions. Next one, the timer and the counter in PLC are two different things. Let us see how these two are different. This one is the block diagram of the counter. See, this is the power supply, auxiliary power supply block. The positive voltage source and negative source terminals are marked here. Then the next one is one input module is there and output module is there. The input module having the input counter functions, 4 number of counter functions are marked here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, the output module having also 4 different terminals, that is the output module connected terminals. Next, a counter circuit is present in between input module and output module. Next, a counter display is also present there to display the programs actually executed in the input side, and this is also placed in between input module and output modules. Then difference between the timer and counter in PLC. Both have the same functions of programming instructions to control and to operate the device, but the main difference is in between is first one is counter counts the sequential digital pulse in binary form. Third one is the timer counts and controls the operation based on time interval. Next one is PLC timer and the counters can be used as LD programming instructions. Next, the ladder counter in ladder programming. The ladder programming diagram language consists of the multiple functions of programming instructions. Next, let us take an example of ladder diagram where we are implementing ABB or a PLC counter. This one is the connection diagram of the PLC counter. This is the input counter 2, input counter 1. This is output counter 1, output counter 2, and this is the null diagram for the wiring diagram of the counter. The input counter contacts is shown using two vertical parallel lines, and output counter contact is shown in the coil form or box form. In AB and Siemens, the PLC, it is represented in the box shape. Types of the PLC counter. Basically, the PLC counter operates into 4 modes such as up modes, down modes, bidirectional mode, and the quadrature mode. The counters in PLC are classified into 3 main different parts. First one is off counter, operates up mode. Down counter operates down mode. Up and down counter operates in bidirectional and quadrature mode. Let us see the counter and their modes one by one.